This is your one and only FireSpark81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and welcome back to another informational Valheim video. A new patch just dropped for Valheim, and while it was small, it brought about some pretty interesting and a few rather large changes. Let's get to it. So the very first thing on the top of the list is campfires, bonfires, and hearths now take damage when they deal damage. So all of those auto farmers out there, those Grey Dwarf auto farmers, you're going to have to constantly replace your bonfires or your campfires or whatever you're using to auto farm with. But don't worry, I've got something in store that should be out pretty soon. If you're watching this in the future, it's probably already out. Check the guides playlist for it. I've already found a workaround for this. And for the next thing on the list, hoarders rejoice. They have heard our pleas. Reinforced chest inventory space has been increased to 6x4. So now it's actually worth farming and spending all of that iron for the reinforced chests instead of just putting everything in carts. All boss drops can now float on water. The sunken crypt entrance has been tweaked to stop tombstones from getting stuck. They fixed the rotation of wood tower shield on item stands. The death skeeto and drake trophy drop rate has been increased. 1 and 2 star creatures HP has been fixed. I didn't even know 1 and 2 star creatures HP was broken. So I don't know if they made it higher or lower or what. Would have been nice for them to state, hey, we increased it or decreased it there, because I didn't even know that was a thing. And I'm sure many others did not as well. Night spawning wolves should be easier to tame now and should stop trying to run away and despawn after you start taming them. The harpoon does not work on bosses anymore. That's a pretty big one because that was a really easy way to cheese pretty much any boss. You dig a hole and harpoon it and drag it into a hole. And that was the technique I actually used in my guide to defeat the final boss that's currently in the game right now. But I already have a workaround for that too, and I'll update that video here in the next couple of days. Once again, if you're watching this in the future, it's probably already in the playlist. That's linked down below. You can just go down there and check it out. Moving on to another relatively interesting and kind of a big change is the in-game console has been disabled by default, and you now have to add the launch argument -console to enable it. In order to do that, it's really simple. You just go into your Steam library, you right-click on Valheim, and you click Properties. It's going to pop up a window, and it should be already on the General tab. And if you look down at the bottom, you will see a thing that says Launch Options. You just paste -console in there or type it out, whichever, and then just exit out of that window. And then when you launch it, you will be able to use the next note, which is the new command. So it says that the console command for enabling developer-debug commands has been changed to dev commands from I'm a cheater, and a warning message has been added. So I'm not sure why they made this change. I mean, I kind of like that they did it because, I like that they changed it from I'm a cheater to dev commands, because it kind of removes that stigma that, oh, you're a cheater. I mean, there's no big deal if you're using dev commands, especially if you're playing single player or if you're just in creative mode. It creates a stupid negative stigma around that shouldn't exist. Yeah, I mean, that's a cool change, but I'm still not sure why they made it harder to get to. I guess they don't really want people using it, but I'm extremely thankful that they didn't fully remove it. I'm sure a lot of people as well would have been very angry if it had gotten removed and we no longer had access to the creative options. Then we have improved enemy projectile reaction system. Battle axe tweaks hits multiple enemies easier. That's good because the battle axe is really slow, so I feel like that may make the battle axe worth using a little more. I haven't really tested it out. Let me know if you've ever used the battle axe down in the comments. Player knockback force is affected by equipment speed modifiers, i.e. heavy gear will reduce the knockback from enemies. That's a really cool change right there, and actually a really good change. They made tweaks to the Black Forest stone tower. I'm not sure what that entails. Ward system has been fixed. You can no longer place a new ward where an enemy ward overlaps. Comfort calculation has been fixed. So I tested this out, and this is exactly what I thought it was. So it used to be when, for example, if you placed one of the fancier chairs and then you placed a stool, the stool would override the fancier chair and cause your comfort level to go down. And now that doesn't happen. And the same thing would happen with a bed. If you place a dragon bed and then you place the old crappy bed, the old crappy bed would overwrite the dragon bed. So now the higher level stuff overrides the previous stuff, the lower level stuff. So you can actually place place the stools and benches around your base now without it affecting your comfort level the way that it used to. So now if you don't have anything that's a higher comfort level than say the stool, it will take the comfort level from the stool, and then as soon as you place something that is a higher level, your comfort level will increase as it should, instead of the stool bringing your overall comfort level down. Next, we have failed to connect error message has been fixed. Serpent trophy stack has been fixed. Missing motor spawn location in some worlds has been fixed. Note, for existing worlds, the genlock command needs to be run manually in a local game with dev commands enabled to generate new locations. This is only needed if your specific world has this issue. This is not very common. So to do this, you would just put in the dash console where I told you to previously, hit F5, type in dev commands, hit enter, and then type in genlock and then hit enter, and that should fix this issue if you have this issue in your world. The whatever that word is, item collider has been fixed. Added a slight use delay on the hammer, hoe, and cultivator. It's probably a server sync issue, probably just helps with that. That's the only real reason I could think why they would have added a bit of a delay to those. Hammer remove auto repeat has been added. This just means that now when you want to destroy stuff, you can just hold down the middle mouse button instead of hitting it every single freaking time you want to delete something. Now you can just hold it down and you just go through smashing everything you look at. Better network bandwidth handling should work better on low bandwidth connections and also use a higher data rate if possible. Then we have dolmen location fixes, stop stone from falling for no reason. I think this has to do with stone structure pieces would end up missing on a server every now and then. I know we had this issue on my server where people would build awesome, huge builds and then chunks of it would just come up missing. I think that's what they mean by that, but I'm not 100% sure. If anybody understands exactly what that means there and can verify that, let me know down in the comments section. Fixed removing item from the item stand, not always syncing item stats. Server list refresh button can be pressed before the entire list has been downloaded. Better bad connection detection. Fixed an issue causing server to send more data the longer the client was connected, and then localization updates. So not only did they make a few rather large changes that, screw with a bunch of things like the auto farming, the bosses not being able to be connected to with the harpoon now, and the console commands, we got a ton of multiplayer and connection fixes and stabilization and all of that good stuff so we can have a much smoother multiplayer experience, which I feel is super important for this game. So it's really great to see that they are still working hard on that, still knocking out the fixes and making changes. And I'm really starting to look forward to the next big update, the Hearth and Home update. I can't wait to see what all gets added with that. Okay, well, that's pretty much it for this one. Just a super short patch notes video. I know a lot of people enjoy these videos, so I figured I would toss one out here. And this one had some changes in it that I wanted to do little mini guides to explain, like how to add the console and all of that stuff. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't done so already. That way you can be notified when I upload other Valheim stuff. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. If you like what you saw, consider hitting that sub button. I want to give a big thank you to my patrons for making this episode possible. You are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to join my elite crew of Patreon supporters, please check out the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and show your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.